Welcome to podcast 45. I get that right?
Yep.
Awesome. I think on this week we're going to talk about cell cams and gaining access on private land, kind of the do's and the don'ts. So we both had struggles starting out, and we've been able to have some ups and downs and anywhere in between as far as gaining and losing public ground, and things happen, and some things for the better, and just you never know, I guess, what you're gonna encounter, and as far as landowners go. But yeah, we'll hop into that here in a little bit. Let's talk about cell cams first. How many you got out so far?
If you count my gate camera, I got 5. So 4 of them actually doing stuff. One just kind of there for security / potential. There deer do cross there, but it's been a hot minute. So they cross through that in the season a lot. So
yeah, I'm running about, I think, probably 10 with my wild games.
Yeah, you just put some out though. You got permission.
Yeah. I got permission again on some of the pieces, and I got a few more I got to put out. And one piece that I usually have put cams in the past, and other guys hunting. It is what it is. But yeah, as far as cell cams go, I've got 2 white flashes. I think you do the same, and you ordered a bunch.
I think I have 6 altogether, but just 2 out.
Yeah, and the quality on those are spectacular. I think they take 16 batteries now. Most of the newer cameras are a little bit more batteries, but the wild games, as far as battery life goes, it takes 8 batteries, I believe, and will last about an entire season, maybe a year and a half. They just the quality of the pictures is great, but the battery life's insane on those. So if you guys are looking for a camera that you're probably not going to ever have to change, unless you're getting hundreds of pictures on and you set it on instant, then you might have an issue. But
yeah, the only time I ran into issues with them has been you put them somewhere and you don't realize that there's grass moving, and you get 3 pictures per trigger at 30 seconds in an instant, and you're getting 600 pictures in a couple hours.
That's false triggers just in general.
Yeah.
If you have it up on a spot that's pretty open and you're not getting any, those cameras will last a long time. And one of the best parts, or I guess, well, what am I trying to say here? The best thing about wild game cameras, the Encounter 2.0 in particular, is, well, I guess the other one too, the plan. You can have a free plan up to, was it 200 pictures?
100. The copper's 100 pictures.
100 pictures, and that's free. You don't have to pay anything for that. So like after season, you can shut down to the copper plan, which that's all my cameras right now. And then if you want to start paying for pictures and getting more, once you hit that limit, it'll start sending you pictures. But it also, you're frozen. Hello?
You back?
Yeah.
It froze for some reason, said bad I can't. All right. Hopefully that's better.
Okay. But yeah, the copper plan is 100 pictures free, and then the battery life's insane on those cameras. So if you hit that 100 pictures a month, then at the end of the month, it'll backdate and send you all the other pictures that you missed. And it's kind of neat going back, because they'll still get sent to you, but at what rate? It depends on how many pictures are taken. You're frozen again.
Why we're having issues, but we'll hopefully get it figured out. But I've been slowly but surely purchasing solar panels for every one of my cameras. I just ordered 4 more HME ones. I wish I had one down here. They have you seen the new cords?
Yeah, I have a few of them.
How they're only like 10 inches long.
Yeah, and then they come with extensions.
Yep, and all the different adapters to screw into the bottom of the cameras. I love it. Like
Yeah,
that one I put on the Earth Pond. I didn't because it's on that muddy dual camera mount. I didn't have to put anything on it. It screwed right in perfect. I got it all set up, and it's you don't have those cords hanging everywhere, which is
yeah.
super nice.
And with that, I've been having raccoons climb on my camera about every night. I can see their little belly, then their tail,
Right.
and they can't rip that out. That's the biggest thing. You know, they step on it wrong or it's screwed in there. So that's nice. It's a nice
Yeah, I
addition.
love that. Yep, I love that thing. I think I have 1 or 2 stealth cams from last year when they started doing it, and I think that's going to be the thing going forward. They're all going to be like that, but it's awesome.
Yeah. And then as far as other cameras go, I got one Revolver Pro out that is in the middle of my food plot right on the earth pond. And that's probably my favorite camera because I can see the entire clover field. And there's been a few does that have been eaten out of it and some doves that come through there. I noticed your picture this morning of crows taking a bath in the earth pond. It's another addition to
Yeah,
that earth pond, and then have a camera that revolves and you can see 360. It's pretty neat.
yeah, yep. I got a couple spots that I'll definitely use 1 or 2 of them. I just haven't I haven't bit the bullet and ordered any of them. I have seen a ton of them in stores though. I was at Tyson's today and they had the flashback and the revolvers, so
Nice.
they're out there.
Yeah, I've ran the Revolver and the Revolver Pro, and I think you might as well spend the money and get the Revolver Pro. The quality of pictures is great, and you can actually on the app you can flip your phone, be horizontal, click on the picture, and then you can like panoramic view them. So you can
Oh,
go,
okay. Like scan it and slide it.
yeah, yeah, and
That's
then
pretty cool.
it's really neat. I'll probably get a couple more of those out. Um, Hopefully we get some in, but it's cool to put in the middle of a food plot. And you can also pick, if you like, let's say you want to put in a timber, you can pick a trail and you can just pick the sections of like, I want it for these 3 sections and not the back 3 because it's on a tree. So you can pick what you
Right.
want to take pictures of. And when you click on the app for the picture, it'll show which picture triggered it first. It's kind of neat. So it'll go right to
Okay.
whatever triggered it.
Okay. So like if it came in off the trail on the right, it shows that one, even though it takes the right, middle, and left picture,
Yeah.
because that's how you have it set up, but it triggers on the right, so it shows you that. Okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
neat. Like I need to get a couple of them so I can mess with them before I'm like, oh wow, I really need to put this out and need to get this
Yeah.
taken care of right now. You
With
know.
with that being said, you want to make sure you're on the unlimited plan for that camera at least. And the bundle plan is better. It's once you reach, I think 5 cameras, you're like $8 a camera after for unlimited pictures. So,
Okay.
and then the Deceptor Max, we got a couple of those. I got a couple out. They take 16 batteries. They're no glow. The picture quality it's really nice. If you don't like the white flash, which I love the white flash, but the no glow is a nice feature when you're either close to neighboring properties. You don't want to see that white flash, or you're on public because you can now legally this year at least have cameras back on public. They tabled that, so
Yep. Yep. So, yeah, I think my problem is I've got a couple of them white flashes out, and man, I miss those things. I used to run a bunch of I had some stealth cams, I had wild views, had a mole tree, couple cutty backs, and God, those white flash, it's just so cool seeing the color at night. So
yeah,
I think that'll be my problem. I'll be like, I'll have all these other nice IR cameras. I'll be like, oh, maybe I should just buy 2 or 3 more flash cameras and put them up. But I do have spots I don't want the flash, so that'll definitely be something I'll change.
Also, off topic, we did not plan this.
Oh, the shirt?
Yeah.
No, I put this on about 10 minutes before we started this podcast.
Yeah, I beat you. I got about an hour. But yeah. So yeah, cameras are a nice touch. We'll probably both be running. Who knows? By the time season gets here, I think last year we probably had 40 or 50 a piece. I probably won't have near as much as I did last year, um, just because I had kind of cameras spread all over, and I have a couple less properties to hunt. Not leasing again, at least not leasing this year, but got some properties. A couple days ago, I called the guys up and um, got back on some of the stuff I was hunting, and a couple of landowners I worked with in the past, and one I pulled out of the ditch, and I think I probably told that story on here, but one, I was driving home one day and there's a guy with his avalanche stuck. I pulled him out with my F-150 and he ended up giving me permission. I've shot a couple nice deer on his piece, and super nice guy. So it all worked out there. And I guess we can jump right into how I would recommend gaining permission on private land. That's a huge thing. A lot of guys don't want to talk to people. They don't want to be friendly. And if that's you, then just stick with the public. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're Chatty Cathy and you don't have any fear, go get told no 10 times. There's always going to be that yes. So,
Well, and like you just told that story, one of my best farms that I don't hunt anymore, it was also a super random thing. I wasn't trying to get hunting permission. It was actually from an old job of mine. And in process, I've got it from my old job a couple times. There was that farm down south that I had for a year, that also did it. You just asked, yeah, I was working there, kind of got to talking, find out that they have land, hey, do you guys hunt? No, we don't really hunt. Do you have anybody on it? Well, we got a guy that he bow hunts maybe once or twice a year, or I got a guy that muzzleloader hunts. And well, do you want to hunt? Well, I don't want to, I think that personally, that's always my number one thing is I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Like if somebody's hunting it and they're hunting it hard, I won't even ask.
yeah.
I'll say thank you, keep me in mind if they ever stop, but I don't want to, you know, step on toes or create bad habits, or not bad habits, but a bad relationship that could burn bridges later. Um, but even that being said, I have one other property where another guy hunts, and we don't ever see each other in like 3 years. He hunts one end of the property, I hunt the other end, and I'll get him on camera every year, but it's really never been an issue.
Yeah, there is bad people out there that try to weasel their way in. And
Absolutely.
I've had that happen more than once, and then they try to get you kicked off and make stuff up, and it's
Yep.
just like, hey man, like I'm here. I've helped out this landowner. Like I've developed a relationship with him. I told the one landowner in particular, I told him, I said, hey, you ever need help with anything? I'm not too far down the road. I have a strong back for at least now. If you want me to, throw logs or cut some firewood, like anything, you call me. So
Yep.
I'd say that's probably the biggest, as far as getting your foot in the door. It's not just asking for, hey, can I hunt? Hey, can I hunt? Do you need help with chores? Do you want me to help you burn? Like, what do you bring to the table to help this guy out? And in return, he's going to let you hunt his property. You're going to develop a relationship with him, and you're not just hunting and not talking once a year and asking him for permission. So
Yeah.
that being said, I think if you go above and beyond, you're probably more likely to get permission on private ground, and developing those relationships is huge. It's a huge part of, some relationships might fail. They might, like one guy in particular used to hunt. He might just say, nope, no one's hunting this year. Sorry, ask next year type of thing. So
Yep.
you never know.
Yeah. And even to piggyback on, being willing to help and all that stuff, like I think a lot of the landowners, especially the older guys, appreciate that more than you bringing out a checkbook or a wad of cash to try to lease ground. You know,
Yeah.
if you're willing to be like, hey, I will put in the sweat equity. You need me to do something, you need that fence done, and you know, like you have a skill set with your job, you have the ability to, you know, help spray and burn and all these other things, and it's just one more thing that makes you a valuable asset to that landowner. And I personally feel like that's easier to, A, it doesn't cost you a dime to work, and B, it I think it's less off-putting than just walking up like, hey, what do you want? How much do I need to hunt here? Like, to me, now that I own land, I mean, I hunted, I'm not going to let anybody else hunt, but if somebody called me and was like, hey, I want to lease your ground, I would tell you right away to pound sand. Like, I would be more inclined to let a neighbor hunt if he was like, hey, this happened, that happened, I need, if you need help doing this, you need help doing that. Let's say a blind blew over and he would bring his tractor and help me set it up. And he'd be, say, hey, you wonder if, think, I could take my grandkid out and maybe shoot a deer late season. I would be way more inclined to go, absolutely, than somebody gay, hey, I'll give you $1,000 to hunt your ground this year.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, you can, just like you said, if they need help with putting in a gate or something, some sweat equity, say, hey, I got this weekend available. You want me to come? It doesn't take much to take a handsaw and cut ironwood trees or just any habitat improvements, anything, do chores for them. Just it's probably, it varies different, in parts of the state where leasing is, down south, there's a lot more leases that go on,
Right.
opposed to central, western, northern. Um, but develop those relationships. That's a big part. And that's where I would start if you're looking for some ground. And like, let's go, let's say there's a nursery in Northeast Iowa that's having problems with deer. Go tell them, hey, I'll shoot 5 does this year. That's my goal. If I can hunt your property, type of thing. So you can always, there's ways to help out too. In the nursery, like a tree nursery,
Yeah.
where the deer are up in trees or, whatever. And I've shot a lot, not a lot of does, but I've shot some does for guys and taken out a few bucks that are, one in particular last year was rubbing on one of his trees. But it's just any way you can help out that landowner, think outside the box, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. No, that's a great thing to do. And just, don't, and here's another thing going off of that is, don't wait till September and go ask permission to deer hunt. Like, I've gotten probably the best permission ground asking to do something besides deer hunting, whether it was turkey hunting or shed hunting or something like that. Like, if you can get your foot in the door, because a lot of people deer hunt. Like, we've turkey hunted ground that is owned by big time deer hunters because they don't turkey hunt, or you can shed hunt there and it may lead to something, if you're willing to, show that you're trustworthy enough and you're a good person, you're willing to help and all that stuff. They might just go, yeah, if you want to, like you said, shoot a couple does this year. Yep, no problem. I'll come and shoot some does, help with the herd management. And then, maybe 2 years down the road, he's like, hey, I got some bucks I would like off of here, and who knows what it'll snowball into.
Yeah. And also one big key factor is don't cause drama. That's something that's going to get you kicked off. There's guys out there. We talked about that today. That that's who they are. They're one they're jealous, and two they want the deer for themselves, and they're selfish. And I mean, that's not who we are. I met a guy last year. I talk about this all the time. Great guy. I was out in the tree stand. Did he ruin my hunt? Potentially, but I made a friend. So work well with your neighbors. Don't work against them. There are some neighbors that are harder to do that with, and shoot what makes you happy. I mean, that's what it boils down to. There's bad eggs, there's good eggs. And if you don't stir the pot, you'll probably stay on that ground a little bit longer than the next guy. So,
Yeah. Yep. You just have to kind of be willing to be flexible and go with the flow a lot of the times. Don't you can go in with a preconceived mindset of what you want and how you're going to do something, but just be no, it's not your property. It's not, you're not paying the taxes on it. You're not responsible for it. You may have to abide by some rules that the landowners will set up for you to allow you to hunt. And if that's something you don't work with, then don't hunt there. I'll tell a quick story. This is probably, God, when we lived in Iowa City, I had a farmer that got permission to deer hunt, and um, he wanted, it was a farmer. He wanted all the deer shot, hurting his crops. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I go out there, shoot a doe, go sit like 3 days later, let like 5 or 6 does go by. I didn't have any more doe tags, and I go to leave, and he's like, "Hey, I could see you from the house. Why didn't you shoot those deer?" And I said, "I don't have any tags." He's like, "If I find out you're not shooting deer that walk by, you're not hunting here anymore." He's like, "I don't care if you gut shoot them and they go and die in a cornfield. Like, I don't want the deer here." And I said, "Okay." And that was the last time I ever hunted it, because I'm not going to do
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
like
that's
I mean, if I had 10 tags, I'd shoot the 10 deer, and it wouldn't have been an issue. But I'm not going to just shoot a deer, A, with no tag, B, to let it go die somewhere, and then C, to waste it. Like, that's not what we do. So
yeah.
and it was a
Some
great farm.
some landowners are like that, no doubt, and they don't understand ethics, and they see a price tag on their crop, and it is what it is. Yeah. So going into this season, I mean, I would always recommend touching base with the landowner that you hunted on last year, because you never know what's going to happen. Someone could come in and they could lease it. Someone else could have permission. You might have to work with someone. Um, in my case, on one piece of property, this is his last year here, then he's going somewhere else. He got a permission on a piece, and I worked with him, and I never even hunted it, but he'd always ask me, "Hey, are you going to hunt there?" I'm like, "I'm not going to hunt there tonight. Go ahead," type of thing. And he wounded a few deer, whatever, that stuff happens. But I hope he shoots a big one. But I end up getting basically told that I can only hunt one piece this year, which is fine. It kind of stinks as it's not the bean field where all the deer will be early season, but he's on that. And maybe next year, I can talk to the landowner and say, "Hey, this guy's gone. He moved away with his job. Can I hunt here again?" And just, and I keep an eye on the farmer's piece. He had a tree fall down last year in his beans. I sent him a picture, and, "Hey, this tree fell down right in your beans. You won't be able to harvest it." He said, "Thank you, appreciate it." So I'm keeping an eye out on his stuff when I'm doing my daily routine. So that goes a long ways as well. So, if you see something, say something. If someone's leaving ruts, and, "Hey, I want to let you know this wasn't me. I didn't know if I should tell you this, but here's the information at hand. Is there any way I can help, fix the ruts?" Or even though it wasn't you, just, let them know, just keep them informed. They like to know what's going on, and just develop that relationship. That's the biggest key factor. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great season. I hope you guys shoot deer, big or small. We love them all. But yeah, my cameras are pretty slow right now.
Yeah, and we've been getting some rain, which is awesome for the crops and all that. But both my farms are, and once again, I only have out a handful of cameras, so I quit. I'll probably put out a couple feeders in the next month. You get into July, and they're really starting to fill out, and I'm gonna probably fill up some feeders for another month or so to try to get a little bit better summer inventory of what's in the area, and then obviously be done before September, because I have 2 kids that my daughters will youth hunt, so um, got to make sure there's none of that going on. But it gets exciting. Now's the time where we kind of start figuring stuff out, start seeing deer. Yep, I remember this deer. That deer doesn't look familiar, and start making a plan of, won't be for too long. Mock scrapes, we'll be putting those out. trimming
Yeah.
stands.
That you brought up a good point there. And to jump back to cameras before we end this, the best single-handedly way to get pictures of a big buck in the summer is finding big buck, go out glass, get permission, throw up a bag of corn and a camera, and there's pretty good odds that you'll get pictures of that deer.
Especially with some apple buck jam.
Yeah, the problem with apple buck jam is though it's a mineral, so you want to dilute it a lot so they're not digging in the soil. I wouldn't even use it.
Yeah.
I would just use straight corn. Find that deer in the vicinity that he's, whether it a bean field, terrace, or on the edge of a property. Go throw out a 50-pound bag of corn, put up a camera. You'll get those pictures of him. I would wait to do that until they're pretty much fully grown, but you're gonna get addicted to watching them grow, and you're gonna spend a lot of money on corn, and then they're gonna disappear come September. So,
yep, it's nice to know what's around at least, because I started looking through some. I was clearing out my cards like in the last couple weeks, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this deer in velvet. I forgot about that deer. I never even got another picture of that deer all year long. So they're around.
September scramble is a real thing, and last year Aaron and I witnessed that. The deer that I shot, the big one, we seen him 5 miles away from where he ended up going when I killed him, and it was 100% the same deer. He was just doing his September scramble and leaving and heading over to kind of where the does were and where he felt safe. So it's nice to get pictures of deer, know what's around, no doubt. It's cool, but then when it comes season, it's a whole nother ball game. And hopefully you guys can, those deer, your neighbors, hopefully they show up on yours and you get a pleasant surprise. That happens more not on a couple of my farms. They always show up.
Yep.
So.
Yep, mine too. And it's cool for the summer pictures to get that consistent. Yeah, there's deer's here every night. Well, we'll give it another month. We'll see. But it's a good time, and we'll get into that maybe a little bit more. We hit that get into the late July, early August, where we're planning to benefit from that September scramble.
Yeah, and we'll maybe even show some trail cam pictures too on the YouTube of kind of what are the deer we're getting pictures of, and historically kind of where they've gone in the past and where we think we can kill them, and we'll talk about that more into depth as time allows and that rolls. I mean, we're not far from July. A few days left here in June, and July 4th is coming up next week. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
I'm excited. So we'll kind of keep going. And once again, if people have any questions or ideas of what you want us to go through, let us know.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go to bed. It's about 9 o'clock.
Yep. Later.
All right. See ya.